Yellow.
Hello.
How are you, Ka?
I'm really good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. You ready? Ready, set,
Yes, I
go. Ready,
am.
set, go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. All right. I am here. I made it. I made it. All right. So let me see if this is being recorded. It is. I think you're good. Did you already presented your your vision board? No.
No, that's exactly what I joined earlier today.
All right. So since this is being recorded, hello. Oh my
Hi.
God. She made it.
Hello. I did. Finally, not on like a recording. I feel a little left out. Got a little bit of FOMO.
Well, today's a good one. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get right through it because people have their vision boards to share, and this is being
Yes.
recorded. And then
Okay.
obviously, you and I are gonna interact while people
Okay.
get here. Okay.
Okay.
So the first one for today, July 28th, is Emily, who will talk about her vision and her vision board. Emily, if you have it ready, you can do it. If you don't have it ready, just start talking about your vision.
I mean, I'm joining from my phone, so I won't be able to share it, but I do have it in front of me, if that
Okay.
works.
So,
Okay,
yes.
so I share my vision board through the WhatsApp group. And
Okay.
basically, I have exciting things planned for this upcoming semester. So I would say that my vision board is kind of like short term, but very meaningful. So I'll be studying abroad this semester in France. So that's kind of like the reason as to why, for example, I have that French flag underneath. And that's because the main purpose as to why I'm doing that program is because I want to improve my fluency. French is my third language, so it's really meaningful to me to be able to do that. I'm an international business major, so something that I really enjoy is traveling, getting to know about different cultures, meeting new people. So I know that while being in Europe, I'll have the opportunity to go around and meet new traditions and meet other places and their customs and just get to explore different sites. So that's why I added a picture of Italy and Switzerland, which are two countries that I'm very excited about in terms of like visiting. For my trip to Italy, I'm a fan of Formula One, so I really want to visit the Ferrari Museum. So that's something that is on the plan.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Then, of course, all of those things come up with tons of hard work and dedication. And that's why I added, as an example, a picture of good grades. So that's definitely something, even though I get to like travel around those in terms of my education, which I know that's going to open way many doors for me. So that's why I added that. And also I added a picture of me of like a handshake or in a resume in the background, because hopefully all of the skills that I'm trying to build early on will help me maybe to try to secure an internship for next summer.
Hey.
And I I also have a picture of a few people together. Again, I want to meet new friends and learn about the different lifestyles and so on. I have a picture of a family during Christmas dinner. That's because I'm very close to my family. I'm very close to my roots. And of course, I want to be able to spend Christmas with them and have an
So
enjoyable
where are
end
your
of the
family?
year
Where's your family?
in the Dominican Republic.
Ah, nice. Very nice.
Yeah. And then, of course, I have a picture of the beach because that's something that you always do whenever you visit there. And that's kind of like my vision board for the rest of the year.
Excellent. So how did you feel while doing this vision board? Were you excited?
I I felt excited. I felt nostalgic. I felt committed. So I really liked it. I think the vision boards are a pretty good way of you being able to put into images or just being able to visualize those things that you really want to be able to do. So something that really helps me out is putting that maybe as a picture on my as the wallpaper or like in the lock screen. So it can give me that
Yes.
daily motivation to kind of like achieve my goals and dreams.
You know, I'm a visual guy, so I love vision boards and anything visual. My wife is an accountant. Is the opposite. She like numbers and looking at things. And I like pictures. I like pictures, and that's how we start our lives. It's like when you're a little kid that you start with sight words like dog, and you don't know how to put it in a sentence. No, this is
Hmm.
the exercise of putting something on a vision board. Maybe you don't have a complete sentence. Maybe you don't know how to get there. But once you start saying the words dog, people can recognize that either you're afraid of a dog or you want a dog, right? People start recognizing
Hmm.
once they get to know you a little bit more, they start recognizing, okay, what she meant is that she wants a dog. Okay, so when you for Christmas I bring you a dog and you're happy, right? So this is a great exercise when you do it, and then when you share it, it's equally as important. Um, it
Yeah,
again,
yeah, I
in
totally agree. I
and
think it
it's a
definitely helps you to have kind of like purpose and just being able to sit down and think about the things that you want to do. It helps you have like a sense of direction. So you're not just like spending the year wandering around without having a clue of what you would like to accomplish.
exactly. So these are the first steps. We're gonna do more steps, by the way. So I wanted you guys to do this vision board in the last couple of weeks, but we're gonna work on it a little bit more during August, okay? Because that vision board is gonna turn into a presentation that I want you to give to senior executives. All right. So this is my challenge to you guys. So I wanted to make sure that you guys know that we're taking steps towards accomplishing the vision. Okay. And the clearer the vision, the better. The more specific, the better. And we're gonna talk about that in our talk. Mati, what's going on? David, ¿qué pasa, macho?
What's up,
Divine in Africa. Okay.
Hernan?
All right, guys. So let me give priority to Divine and David because they're in Africa, okay, and they might drop off or get a little sleepy. So vamos a ver. Divine, you want to share your vision board here in the global internship chat? By the way, if you haven't given your vision board and you want to do it, just forward it again to the or tag it in the WhatsApp so that we can see it. That way I don't have to search it. So I think yours, David. I think yours was right before. If I no, that was Emily, and then David. I love yours, by the way. Particularly jobs not finished.
Yeah, thank you.
David, where are you? Talk to me about
I,
you and then about your vision board. Dale.
so I go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. Do I have to share it or everyone
No,
can
no,
see it
no.
on
Just
the?
forward it. Bueno, I'll forward it here.
Okay. Yeah. Well, with my vision board, mainly I want to divide the pictures in groups because first I want to talk about the passion or the authenticity because I
Pero
think
espérate. Hold on. Hold. Talk about you, man. Where
about
are
me,
you? Yeah.
for me. Um.
Claro.
Okay. I'm David. I'm from Spain, and I went to the US to to study and to do track and field thanks to a scholarship because of track and field. And right now, all my life, I've been involved in sports, and I have a big passion for business and organizations because and the corporations because my goal in life is to impact people's lives, and I think the best possible way to achieve it is through corporations and to be like within different organizations and yeah, and that's my and also besides that, um, I have a strong passion for building relationships with people And that's also the main reason because I want to be involved in business. Besides also the passion I have for organizing resources, all that kind of stuff. But the mainly reason is because of people. I want to improve people's lives. And talking about my vision board, I want, as I said before, I want to divide it by different groups. The pictures. I want to talk about the sentences first, or the words. I put words such as passion or authentic. And also, as you mentioned, Hernan, I also included the sentence of Kobe Bryant because I would say that he's my reference in sport and also in like his mentality. I love the mama mentality in life and in sports. And I think passion and authenticity is so important for me because to impact people, you have to be authentic. That's the main rule for me. And also, you have to be with passion. If besides impacting people or other things you do in life, I think if you don't do it with passion, you will not achieve it because it will not feel real. And also, I put some pictures where you can see groups of people and can be friends in the top left. And also, I included a long table full of different people of different ages because also my goal in life is to have a big family and to be like that grandfather who is like in the table, leading the table and having like a big family around him. And also, I included the beach because it's for me like the uh, my favorite place and where I find peace and where I enjoy the most. And also, I mentioned Red Bull as a company where I wanted to not to work, but I take it as a reference because I think it's the company that conveys the most kind of my mentality because I love business and also I love to push limits and to be like involved in new industries. And I think Red Bull is a perfect example for that. Also, I put Irox because now I'm done with track and field, so maybe I try a new sport. And to conclude, I'm going to mention the picture you can see on the bottom right, where you can see a coach and an athlete. Besides my professional life, I also want to be helping athletes and young kids to achieve the opportunity I achieved thanks to sport because I can say that changed my life because I come from a humble family with like a low income and Spain this is like it's not like in Spain you if you come from a low income family it's kind of tough to have an opportunity to be able to study in US and I achieved it thanks to sport and I want to give this opportunity to also to more kids and young kids and that's all.
So I am going to have everybody give you a round of applause because that was kind of cool.
Thank you so much.
Don't you love David now that you know him a little bit? Isn't don't you love seeing people's hearts and it's just beautiful to see how you can accomplish things if you put your heart to it. But most importantly, that you share that vision of hope and giving and all this stuff. This is nice. Thank you, David. I
Thank you,
saw your
man.
heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dale, Divine, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes. You see, even my background gets excited. Go ahead. Go ahead. Just talk a little bit about yourself, and we're ready for your vision board. I have it here.
Can I proceed?
Yes. Now is the moment.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Divine. I'm a pharmacologist. I have a passion for food and science research. Currently, I am working in a research company where we deal with the production of new food and we deal with raw materials as well. And I've had this passion for cooking for food for a very long time. Like from when I was very young. and I tried to move away to go into health, but somehow I still found myself back in here. And
I think we can't hear. We
what I
can't hear.
still want to do,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I still want to um, work in a laboratory where I can become a full-time researcher and also work as a dietitian. I also love volunteering a lot. A project at hand in January, I would let. Okay, I have a volunteering project ahead in January. I have of my stuff. I want to do it to make that will be the project I'll have on giving and age to the motherless in every village. And I just hope that I don't know. So in my vision, but I should have somebody around. But it's not really a big deal for now because that's not really what I am really looking into. I just have a passion for food, health, take good care of myself, maintain a balanced diet, and have a good family in future. That's all.
You're on mute. Hernan, you're on mute.
Oh, thanks. I was gonna say, that's it. That's it. You just want a family. You just want to be successful. You just want. So it's great. By the way, Divine is my intern for the summer, and we've been having some fun. I've been pushing her brain to the limits. Most importantly, making sure that she. By the way, this is the first time she appears in video, which is a big deal for people that have some fear of speaking in public or speaking in general. Just showing your face is a first big step. So congrats, Divine. The second thing is
Thank you, sir.
we, every day you speak to somebody else, right? And then you're getting new ideas. What I tell people is it's okay to have a plan, right? And it's also okay to adjust it and change it based on what you know, because you do things based on what you know, right? You don't do things based on what you don't know, and therefore once you figure these things out little by little, then you can discard things, so I think the easiest thing is to figure out the best thing is to figure out what we do not like, so that we don't do that, and then we continue doing things to see what we don't like or we don't like or we don't like, and then we focus on the things that we like. But you're in the right direction. I love your vision board also. It's very cute. I see the food somewhere here, so which is good. A lot of food, a lot of food. I see you're gonna be my next dietitian. I need that, as you know. I'm trying to lose weight, so having you around will be a good thing. Phenomenal.
Definitely.
And by the way, have you ever met anybody from Lagos, Nigeria? Raise your hand if you have.
Come
Man,
against.
Divine is your new best friend from Lagos. Okay. I don't know if you know, but she eats phenomenal food. She likes 90% of the things that you guys like. She went to college, right? Which means that she is, pretty smart. When we think of Africa, sometimes when you're in the West, you think you don't know anything about Africa. So that's why I love talking to people, getting to know people, because we have a misconception. By the way, did you know that the women continental Africa soccer team just won the regional cup? The women from Nigeria. I don't know if you knew that. I know that because I have friends that are from Nigeria. And I like soccer. I don't play soccer, but I like soccer. Excellent. All right, who's next? I think we have sign up also from Lagos. Did you present last time, sign up or no?
No, I did not. Good evening, everyone.
How are you? You want to present or you want me to give it to
I'm
somebody
fine.
else while you get ready?
Yeah, maybe someone else can go.
Okay, so I know Mati. Mati is Messi's familia. Dale.
What's up, Hernan? What's up, everybody? My name is Matias. Currently a student at Florida State University. And I just sent my vision board to the WhatsApp group chat like a couple minutes ago. So let's start with goals. And on the top right, it's just a picture of people throwing their caps in the air. I'm about to graduate and I want to go to law school as well. So that basically just signifies that I want to get into a good law school, graduate from there. On the bottom, we have a office overlooking the city. Basically just means I want that corner office. I want to be the boss, you know? Goals are pretty simple. I just want to be successful, not too deep into goals. For growth, a quote at the top from Star Wars, do or do not, there is no try. And that's from Yoda. Basically just, you got to go out and try everything. And if you fail, that's okay. It's just, you do it or you don't, and you got to move on. In the top left, it's a captain's band from soccer. And basically, it means you have to take accountability for your actions and you have to lead by example. When you're on the soccer field, there's not a lot of words to be said, just actions and how you handle yourself. And I feel like the captain is the one that signifies that the most and really carries the energy for that team. To the right of that is a book that I want to read for next semester, The 48 Laws of Power. And I've heard it's a really good book from a lot of my friends and a lot of my peers that are in FSU and a lot of my professors as well. They've said it's very important if you want to study politics, if you want to study people, if you want to just hold yourself very well. It's a very good book to read. So it's something that I want to read. Under that is Magnus Carlsen. He's a chess player. He's one of the best chess players ever. And it's just a new hobby I picked up because I think chess is pretty cool. And it's something to keep my brain working. For wellness, I have a box breathing exercise. And it's just something to keep yourself calm. If you're ever feeling anxious, if you're ever in a situation where you catch yourself losing breath because of it, just remind yourself, take a couple deep breaths, hold it in, think about it. Don't rush to any decisions. Bottom right there, we have plate of healthy food because in college, as we all know, we struggle to eat well. I can definitely say I gained a couple pounds and lost a couple pounds when I was drinking. So yeah, basically.
No, you're drinking college? No way.
Hey, just being honest here.
You're being recorded here. Be careful.
Hey, I'm 21. I'm 21.
Oh, that's right. He did it when he was 21 only. After that, he didn't do it.
21 only. And yeah, just to always remind myself to maintain good habits and to eat well. To the left of that is just a picture of a gym. I used to play soccer growing up. And when I stopped playing soccer, I really struggled to get back into the gym, to find the excitement and the enthusiasm that I had for training kind of went away when the competitiveness stopped. And I'm trying to remind myself now that it's more not about competitiveness or being better than anybody, but just going to the gym and working out, literally just doing some exercise. For connections, I did my circle. And under that is a picture of basically my whole Argentinian side of my family when the last Mexico trip we did. And I just really love that picture. And I think it I don't know, I just really love that picture of my family, so I wanted to include it. Under that is scuba diving. It's just like a stock photo of scuba diving. But I recently started going scuba diving in the Keys with my girlfriend's family, and I really love the connections that I'm making there with them. And scuba diving is a lot of fun. So, and under that, I have happiness for my hobbies, and I have a quote. It actually came with like the stock Canva, and it just says, "Do more of what you love," and I really like that, so I decided to keep it. Um, and then next to that is a picture of Japan. That's the next place on my bucket list that I would like to go to. And then under that, like you said, is my closest family member, Lionel Messi, holding the World Cup trophy because he brings all that in my life that I need. And yeah, that's it.
So David has the Mamba mentality, and you have the Messi mentality. Not bad, not bad places to have, no. By the way, I am not I don't do sports, as you could tell. Although I used to play football when I was in high school. That's why I ended up in the University of Miami, which we will talk later about that. But the you know, the discipline that sports brings is so important. Team player, by the way, it develops your team player mentality, which, once you realize that you can't do things alone. I don't ever have never seen a soccer player work alone, and if they do, they are in a sports, that it's not. You can do wrestling, or you can
I
do
don't want to
something.
interrupt you, but I've seen Messi carry Argentina by himself. By himself.
Yes, but there were
I'm just
there were
joking. You're
there
right.
were people outside. There were people outside that let him pass. Communication is key, by the way. If not, everybody would be blocking him. Excuse me. Sometimes people do that. Your own team members, they could do that if you don't talk. But Matias, obviously I know you for a long, long time. Particularly your family. Your sister's one of my best friends, and your family I've loved since before you were born. By the way, before you were born. And one of the things that balances things out is having close friends and family around. Particularly in the field that you're choosing, it's very cutthroat sometimes, and it's good to have that perspective to carry on. Okay, so it's good to be in groups of people that care about you, because sometimes in that profession you could lose a little perspective, and when you have family and friends, it brings you back up. So I'm glad to see that picture. Okay, let's see who else we have here that hasn't gone. Oh, Nargnes, of course. Yes, ma'am. You
Hi.
ready?
Yeah, I am. I feel like mine is much more short term. It also I always make vision boards like for my phone, like my wallpaper, or I also like to like print them out and have them in my room, but I couldn't share that. But what I have right now is trying to focus more on mental health and my wellness because last semester I had 3 jobs, extracurriculars. I was like vice president of finance, president of Women Stand on Business, and like just so many extracurriculars, so many jobs. And this semester, I'm trying to prioritize my grades, which is why I have that in there. Also, being consistent with my health. So, like making sure I'm eating healthy, kind of like what Matthias was saying. In college, you're not eating the best as well. So, I think consistently, like being able to eat correctly, also furthering my education, waking up on time correctly. I think I would wake up at like 4 in the morning to like 6 in the morning to like 3 in the morning. I'm just trying to be much more consistent also with the gym as well. But yeah, this is just for the upcoming. Also for the school year, I did end up on the dean's list, but I would like to get the president's list. That's another thing I would like. But yeah, that's mine.
Excellent. And what's a food?
So
I'm
here I have yogurt. I have yogurt, salad, and that's about it. Like nice, clean, like fresh water. But yeah, that's about it.
So you and Divine share the passion for good, healthy food.
Oh yeah.
Phenomenal. And big hair? No. What is this big hair? The top left?
Healthy hair, healthy.
Healthy hair.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's definitely a big one, at least for me, for a girl. Try to get on that journey.
I think you're crushing the goal compared to mine and compared to Mike Babbitt. Awesome.
Yeah, I can take note about that if you can. I'm not showing my camera now, but yeah, I can definitely use that.
Yeah. So Nargnet,
Yes, for sure.
you can teach Matias
Of
some
course.
him some advice about healthy hair.
Of course.
Thank
Anytime.
you, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Who else? I see Alan's here. Alan, you want to share something about your goals? Vision board?
Hello, hello.
Dale, macho, dale. Go, 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 go.
Wait, what was the question?
So everybody's talking about their vision board. I didn't see yours, but I wanted to make sure that you knew that you still have time. If not, you can later on share it by video. But you can show your face.
Hello.
Oh,
You know what?
yeah. Let me just camera.
By the way, Mike Babbitt, you got to talk to Alan at some point. Just remind me to hook you guys up.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
A banker in training.
Awesome.
I'm trying to convince him not to do it, but you know.
No, yeah. Vision
It's
board.
not too late.
Okay. I'll give you 3, 2, 1. Anything else? Do we go to the next person? Anybody else? Who else are we missing?
Hello, everyone.
Who's that? Who said hello, everyone?
Reina.
Reina and her dog. Welcome, Reina.
Yes, barking a lot.
Reina, you are in the career acceleration program. By the way, do you guys know what that is? So the difference between the career acceleration program and the intern program is that you're in college. When you're in college, you're doing an internship, or after you're graduating college, you're doing an internship. At that moment in your career, still you're constructing your vision. You know? You're still constructing and building your vision. Most people that graduated college and started working, like Reina and Lou, me, McDavid, we go through lives, and sometimes we hit the wall, and we either hate what we're doing and want to change, or get stuck and we don't know how else to move up. Those are the people in our acceleration program. Okay, and we have, I think, how many do we have, Lou? Like 10 or 12?
Hi guys, how are you? I think yes, around 10 or 12 without let us see. But
Yeah.
it's the right people.
Yeah. So Reina, for example, started in HR. Right, Reina?
Yes, that's true.
And what happened? Why do you want to change? What do you want to change to?
Well, I decided to change because I feel like more interactive with more marketing, the world of marketing, especially digital. And also, I have a creative mind. And when you are working with marketing, you always creating something or creating a strategy. And I feel like I compare more with the marketing than HR. So that's why I decide to change and to move on with other fields and not stay with the same one. Yes.
That
So,
happens. That happens. And
and
this is
it's like
why,
a new
Dale.
challenge, right? Uh-huh. Like a new challenge career, making something new, not always the same. That's one of the reasons.
Excellent. And it, you know, and sometimes it's difficult, right? We have to, when you want to start over, you have to start reskilling, rebuilding your resume, doing work, volunteering, right? Doing anything that you can when you want to follow your passion, your new passion, right? After you realize that you're not that passionate about what you do. But knowing yourself is key, no? So we started, by the way, for you guys that have been with me for the past 6 weeks, we started by making the personality assessment, no? You remember those letters that you did, and how, you know, you have a certain type of personality. So that is something that where you start by knowing yourself. Once you have a feel for who you are and what you like, what you don't like, then you start building a vision around what it is that you want to accomplish when you grow up, right? When you're a little kid, you're trying to build something you don't know. Maybe, I don't know if it happened to you, but the majority of people that I know, my friends, when they're 18, they're making a decision about what they're going to study. Really, they don't really know what they want to study or what they want to do exactly. They just grab something that sounds nice, where they think they're going to make a lot of money, and then they end up working in stuff that is not necessarily what they wanted. And we're going to talk about that. Is, having an idea, right? We spoke about that a little earlier with Javi. Having an idea and creating impact, it takes time, and it takes a little bit more detail. But sometimes we don't have time, right? We don't have time. The time sometimes is now, right? And this is the challenge that I have for all of you today. The time is not in a week or in 2 weeks or when the water takes you. The time is now, right? The time is today, July 28th. Mark it, because this is going to be a date that you will not forget, because there will be you before July 28th, and there will be you after July 28th. Don't believe me? Let's talk in a week. Okay? Let's talk in a week. But anybody else that wants to share their vision board that hasn't introduced themselves? Anybody that wants to talk about their goals? Some of the people from their CAP program. I saw Carla's here. Carla, you want to talk about your goals? How you're making it, what you're doing, what you want to do.
Sure.
Ronaldo,
Yeah, I can go.
dale. Now?
Does it let me share?
No, I'm not gonna let you share. Just talk about it.
Oh, ah, wow. Okay. Put me on the
That
spot
happens
like
when you
that.
arrive late because you forgot that I mentioned it. Dale.
Okay, so my vision board consists of 6 areas of anything, like it's just my persona, like just me, the 6 area. The first one is my career goals. I was talking to Lou. My first priority right now, it's pretty much like on my current industry. I want to see like what else is there for me, because right now I feel like I'm stuck in my current position. It's an accounting firm where they don't really look very well to the finance people, and going into a whole accounting degree, I don't think it's really worth it, because at the end of the day, what I want to do, it has to be with lending, and it has to be with helping I don't know how to like phrase it correctly, but it will be more like on the back end of lending, like the loan officer side. And yeah, accounting might help me, but I don't want to like focus on accounting while there's something else on the table that I can work on. And I've been like looking into classes I can take, licenses I can, courses for I can work on. But I'm waiting right now since my current company, there are like in this, it's like, the period for promotions, for raises. So I'm just like waiting to see what happens. And then from there, take on the next goal. For my second section of my vision board, it's health. I'm focusing right now a lot on my health, especially my mental health. I had a lot of turbulence in the past few years, but I went back to the gym. I'm eating a little healthier. I'm just getting myself together again. For the third section, family, I feel like this one I actually stress it too much. I focus too much on family, and sometimes it puts a drain on me. I'm trying to set some boundaries where I can tell, hey, mom, dad, do this, and that, but please, like call me only if you need me. Because sometimes I stretch too much and I'm always there for them and I don't realize it. And I'm like pulling myself away too much. Like I'm stretching myself too far. So with family, that's my goal, is putting boundaries. Uh, the fourth section will be money. This is something I always have in mind, and it doesn't have to do anything with career. Yes, you can build a career, but with money wise, I want to reach to a point where money doesn't have to be a worry, that it doesn't have to be a necessity. I'm working towards that. I'm talking to financial advisors, like planning, pretty much any little penny that's coming in automatically goes somewhere, and I don't have to worry about it when I don't know, like 40, 50, 60. For the other two categories, they're very similar. One is travel and the other one are hobbies. I feel like this ones represent me a lot. I'm a person that it's very adventurous. I like traveling a lot by anything, by air, by riding, like anything. It's just I get on a car, I go 3 hours away. I'm happy driving. Or I can just book a plane ticket and go anywhere. I feel like that's another thing that makes me who I am. I'm very adaptable. I can just go anywhere and like start a whole new life without realizing. And for hobbies, it's very close to my health goal. I'm trying to focus on those hobbies that I really care about. Like, for example, I love singing, I love music, I love skating. So I'm trying to focus more on those goals that makes me happy. So it doesn't restrain it doesn't drain myself on another areas too much. And I can actually, find a balance in between. But yeah, that's my vision board. How do you like it?
I love it. I love it because you see, and you could tell that Carla has a little bit more experience in the working world. The more that you share more specifics, the more people can help you. Like I saw Avi here and Mike, you know, have been mentored with apprentice for like 10 years already. Mike runs a banking unit that kind of when you said that, he's already, I'm sure his mind is already going, okay, I have friends that do that, I have friends that do that. And same thing with Avi, who run a major logistic company and is an entrepreneur, always finding ways to take his business to the next level, you know. These are when you mention these specific things, it's easier for people to help you, right? And we have to not be afraid of sharing who we are and what we want to do, because there's people out there that opposite from you, that you know, their desire, the same way that David shared earlier, that he wants to help people in the future, and his dream is to help the next generation of young people that come and that are doing sports, because he you know, just went through college. And guess what, this was my dream when I was a kid as well, to help people in the future, right? Am I doing it? That's why you're here, by the way. So the more you share without fear, and the more clear, you know, and if you have no clarity, and we'll talk about clarity of vision. But I love it. I love it, Carla. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Okay, we have a few guys here that are in the accelerator program. Uh, Ronaldo, you want to share anything?
Take it to the trash bin. Here, with it.
Yes, just be present for all of you. Just be
I love,
present.
I love it. I love it. Just be present. Just be here. Just be available. Just be. But I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to seeing you in the next couple of
yeah,
days.
me too.
All right. Anybody else before we start? Oh, we started already. But
I would
before we
like
start the
to
talk,
I would like to share my vision board.
Dale.
Hi Hernan, how are you?
How are you, buddy? Good seeing you.
Okay, so I
Talk
have
about
been
you.
okay. First, well, my name is Andres. I'm 25. I am from Ecuador. I have Hernan has been helping me with coaching, advising from time to time. From I think that 2 years from now, and it helped me on giving me guidance. My vision board is not so complex because I I found happiness on small things like building puzzles or hanging out with my family. So it's more focused actually on what on work and my long term commitment with myself. About work, right now I'm as an under and right now I am an enterprise account executive and a small startup. But I would like to leave my job and focus full time on my own project that it is Pips, that it is an insurance startup that I'm building, that I have been working on it like from 2 years, and I like to make it financial solid so I can focus uh, only working on it. Also, it's like with work, it also came like I have a pipeline of clients that I would like to close on this year. So if I am able to close them, maybe for next year from 2026, I'm going to be able to just start and focus on my own project and leave my current job. I think that I also learn marketing because I think that it is important if you know how to promote yourself better on social media and like how if you have a good engagement, it can help you to grow your company. That's it about work. It's like it's I think that it is quite simple. Like try to validate my own idea, find my first clients, and focus on that being sustainable and just focus on that. About passion and health, well, I 3 years ago I was an MMA fighter. I was competing, but I left it. So I would like to be able to compete again. And for do that, I have to lose like 60 kilograms. Yeah, 60, not 16, 60 kilograms, 60 to the end of the year, so I can start I can start training on late winter. So I think that that's going to be cool and long. And yeah, I think that that's it. That's my two main goals. My own project to be sustainable, and I can close my first big clients, and I can be back on my peak physique, so I can start training again. So yep, that's it.
That's it. That's simple. By the way, so uh, I have a lot of fun talking to you all the time because you're a big dreamer, like I am, like I keep being. But I always like to, not on purpose, just to bug you a little bit, right? And put some a pinch in your air because sometimes our our egos get big, right? And the bigger that they are, the more I try to make sure that people, keep their egos in check because what happens is that it happens to ambitious people like me. I am super ambitious, right? and I was just like you, but I hit a lot of walls, no? And you hit other walls. So what we try is to compare notes so we don't hit the same walls, no? But most importantly is to validate. You said something that is to validate your actions, right? To have a sample, because you were dreaming big, but you weren't validating much. You were thinking that is what you were doing. Your drive was going to get you there, no? But when you started working, you're like, man, I can't sell one of these crap, you know? Until you sold one, now you validate. Now you keep doing that. So it's important that you whatever it is that your goals are, that you validate. That's why we do if you do test marketing, right? If you're marketing, you test markets. It's important. A side gig or a side business is important. Sometimes your side gigs becomes your main gig, and that is that is great. That is great, and you learn to fail quickly and move on. So I love you, buddy. I think you're doing amazing. Let's keep working on that specificity. Okay. Okay. I think we will start my talk officially. By the way, while we do that, I know Abimael, Mike Babbitt, Matias, you want to say something here before we start? These are some of our longtime mentors. Anybody else who's a mentor that wants to show their face and say something, go ahead.
No, just keep it up. I mean, obviously you're here because you want to improve yourself. You want to continue to better your career, yourself as a person, any number of things. Just keep on the path, keep seeking out the people that will help you get there, and take the best of what they can offer, and realize that nobody's the expert on your life but you. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And Mike is in Utah. Well, Costa Rica.
No, I got back from Costa Rica last week, so I'm in Utah again.
All right, love it. Anybody else? Talk or forever hold your peace. Okay, here we go. All right, can you see me? Can you see me big, bold, and beautiful? Like Nanushka.
Yes, we can, Hernan.
Awesome. So let me talk to you about, so today, I'm so sad to tell you, but today is our last CEO Masterclass of 2025. And this is the 6th year that we do it. Obviously, if you want to come back next year and join our CEO Masterclasses, you're more than welcome. We will start again in June 1st. Usually we end up in August 1st. But we decided to stop today. Just as a little secret surprise, those of you that finish with the master classes, with your vision board and completing, and your mentors giving their thumbs up, will be invited to your graduation. You see, I'm celebrating already. And the graduation, we will give everybody a nice certificate so you can remember this special moment that we shared together, that will not come back. But hopefully we'll keep building relationships and keep building our dreams together. And we're here to help each other succeed. So I wanted to share that. Second is, I want to give a really, a word of appreciation, of love, of, how much you mean to me. All of you mentors that have given of your time, of being present, being available, coming and speaking at these events. We share this common passion for helping the next generation of leaders, and we've been together for so many years. I can stand here and say that Apprentice Worldwide is all about me, but it's not all about me. It's about community and what we're building together, right? And what we build together. And, you know, it goes without saying that how much I appreciate what you guys do to help out. You know, whenever I'm not around, I can't be everywhere. Although people feel that I should be everywhere, I cannot be everywhere. But I do appreciate you specifically and especially. I want to thank the CEO Master Class instructors. So these CEOs who gave up their time for the past 5 weeks, and I will recognize them. And let me recap a little bit also what they shared. So the first one, if you remember, was Andres Bedoya, who's a regional manager for PNC Bank. And Andres spoke about the human advantage. Is what are the skill sets that are needed in a time where everything's AI, led by AI or run by AI, right? The things that make you different, that no matter what technology comes into play, that you will keep shining and keep moving forward. And Andres was kind of to share that, you know, the he and I believe that being in person and present in people's lives it makes a big difference in who you choose as a partner for a business, in who you invest to, right? It's not only numbers, beautiful numbers, but they don't know the people behind these things, and they don't showcase their personality or who they are. You know, AI will never replace the heart of people, right? So trying to focus and ensuring that you have skill sets that make you stand out regardless of what happens is you know, I'm not going to share the entire talk, but Andres shared that, you know, just be yourself, show your heart. No, and we saw a lot of good hearts today. We also had Milton Santiago. By the way, Milton Santiago was in the board of advisors for Microsoft. And Milton decided to come over here and share with you, the people here, his perspective on the world that we live in. And he shared about how to lead with AI. He didn't ask you to become an expert in AI, and there are very a few of them here, but he wanted to make sure that you understand what is happening so that you can make decisions in the future by incorporating AI to improve things, make things better, right? Make things faster, make things better. And I know Matias is working on projects with AI. I know some other people are working with AI that are out of this world. I was sitting down with the guys from Blinka and Juan Pablo the other day. What he's doing is amazing, phenomenal, right? But he's only doing a niche, a part. But everything in this world today, the more savvy you are about what's happening with AI, the better it is for you, because you're gonna be in the driver's seat of things to come. No, and you don't have to be a technical expert, a technology expert. You just have to know what is out there and be aware and know who does it, right? And know who does it. And little by little, immerse yourself in these technologies. I don't know about you, but it keeps blowing my mind. All these videos that are popping up about, and most of them seem very realistic. Uh, for example, just give you one example that it's funny. You know, for people that are in their careers that are trying to showcase their best face in LinkedIn, and they don't know how to make an 8K LinkedIn profile picture. It just blows my mind that now that is free, and still people are lazy and they keep their picture of them in a selfie in their car. Just blows my mind. So guess what? Whoever fixes their picture for free on ChatGPT will have a beautiful picture that people will see your profile and go, man, that's a beautiful profile. And then you will impress people from the get-go. But embracing AI. Luz spoke about the personal brand, what makes you unique, right? Nanushka, we spoke about many things, but you said your hair, which I love your hair, by the way. But she has a hat. She wears a hat, and she distinctively uses that in her marketing and promotion. Luz and I met her in the DR, and she looks beautiful with every hat that she wears. You know, that's her thing. Some people, yours is your hair. Mine is my personality, right? Whatever your signature thing is, that'll set you apart, right? So obviously, the older I get, the more I know what are the things that make me unique and different. One of them is bringing people together. So I love bringing people together to find solutions to problems that people in their individual minds, they think that they don't have a solution, but together we start solving these problems. I love bringing people together for that reason. And you have been building your own personal brand, right? And determining that. By the way, we have a booklet in the Apprentice website that I'll share with you about personal branding later on. Oneida, where's Oneida? I saw her here before. Oneida, Nena, I think she left. Well, Oneida spoke about opening doors, about networking, about making a difference, making an impact, showing up, right? She gave a lot of good tips, particularly when you're trying to do things online and in person. But it's making things happen. It's moving, right? It's moving, shaking. So that's Oneida, big personality, and she's doing amazing things at in her company, both as a CFO of Glass and also as a CEO of Franco Consulting. What she's building is amazing, all from her heart. A lot to do with aura and you know, and spirituality and all these things that are super nice. Then last week we had Javi Riera. Who loved Javi Riera? You guys stayed for a couple of hours talking to Javi Riera. He brought some good pointers about how to take an idea and make an impact. But he spoke about that class that he has where he started with the evaluating the personalities of each one, and how by selecting the group based on certain parameters, he's had the top performance group of that class, right? And again, it's about fleshing out the ideas. And we did speak a little bit about the viable product, like we talked about before with Andres. That's what he did, and it was phenomenal. And Javi Jr., which you guys met, is also part of Apprentice, is also trying to make an impact in this world with the technology that they have. With that being said, today we're going to talk about massive action. But if you guys remember, I asked you to get a little piece of paper. So let me see those cameras and those pieces of paper, because we're going to make a paper boat. Ready? Ready? All right. Hold on. So you guys follow instructions or no? Shake it up, shake it. Okay. So I got this beautiful, colorful piece of paper, 8 by 11. No. So I'm gonna fold it in half. All right. Fold it in half. And by the way, try to make the creases, fold it a little bit harder, the creases, no? So you can get the paper a little closer in the corners. Okay. So let me show me your paper. Show me your paper. You're doing it good. You're doing it good. I see. It should be half. Okay. Now you're gonna half it again. All right. You're gonna half it again, and then create that little crease. Right. Show me your crease. Show it to me. Okay. Now, this is a little tricky. We're going to fold this little corner like this, like a little triangle. Like a little triangle here. And there's going to be let's say like an inch of paper left right here, right? And then we're going to do the same to the other side. It's going to look like a plane, but it's not a plane. It's going to be a barquito, a boat. So you follow my lead. Sometimes That's what happens with our goals. Sometimes our goals, they look like something, but they're really something else. So it should look like that. You guys have something like that? Okay, cool. So now this thing on the bottom has two parts. So you flap one part up on one side, and then you put the little flap on the other side. And it's gonna look something like this. By the way, I used to do these whenever I wanted to play pirate. So I'm from Puerto Rico. The Pirates of the Caribbean, that's where we live. In El Morro, I used to wear like a pirate's hat, be like that. But no, we're not making a pirate hat. Now, we're going to fold that. We're going to open it up like a little mouth. And then we're going to put this together like this. So it's going to look like a little box. But you see these things, this little flap here? You can put one on top of another. And on the other side, one on top of another. So it's going to look something like this. Okay? How you doing? You guys doing good? So far, so good? Okay, I think you got it. All right, here's the fun part. This is what's going to make or break your little boat. So you're going to take this bottom part and you're going to fold it up, but not all the way up, only until the middle. So this should be aligned. This dot right here should be aligned with these two. Okay? And then you do that on both sides. So they're going to look like, you're going to look like something like this. Okay? If you flip it the other way, it's going to look like the Superman logo. By the way, that movie was cool as hell. Leah, was the movie cool as hell or what? So, Superman logo. All right. So now you're going to expand it, open it up, and this is my favorite part. You're going to flip the corners up like this. So you're going to go from this, from a reverse Superman logo to a boat. All right. And then you're going to open it up. You're going to fluff it up, open it up, and yours, show me your little boat. All right. When you're done with your little boat, I want to see your boat. Can somebody take a picture of us holding a boat? How about does anybody have cameras here that can take a picture of us holding our little boat? Mine with my green. Yeah. Anybody who's off camera who can take a picture and then send me the picture. Okay. All right. So this little boat here is my dreams and my goals. You see how beautiful mine is? By the way, mine took me probably 21 years to build my little boat. Thank you, Nico. I love you. Thank you. 21 years to build my little boat, right? So 21 years, somebody would take 18 years, 17 years. But this boat, I'm going to put it in a little pond, right? I'm going to put that little pond. Let's say that you're going to put it on the bottom. Okay? So put it on the floor. Put that on the floor and take a nice picture of your boat in the floor and then share it with me, okay? Because that's exactly where your dreams and goals are going to stay. By the way, if you move it from your cement on the bottom of your floor, and maybe you put it in La Laguna del Condado, or maybe you put it in South Beach in a little pond, or maybe you go to Hialeah where there's a little hole that was made by one of the trucks, or maybe you put it in Lagos, right, in the middle of a nice lake. Your boat is gonna look beautiful, like the picture that I shared with you a little earlier. It's gonna look great. But you know what? what's going to happen with that boat? That boat is going to go in the direction of where the wind blows, no? Or maybe where people are flapping into, they're people flapping somewhere, and then your boat is going to go nowhere where you wanted it to go, right? So this is what happens with our goals. All of us have tremendous, beautiful, amazing looking goals. But if you don't put a specific motor and go in the right direction, you're going to end up in the place in no man's land. You're going to end up in a place of nowhere, nothingness, right? Because your goals have no drive, no motor, no ambition, no focus, no real chance from the very beginning. So therefore, I am a pain in the ass when it comes to being specific for a reason. And it's not only that, it's because I need to know where I'm going before I take my first steps. If I don't know where I'm going, right, my boat is going to end up somewhere else. But this is where and I know Oneida will be happy when she hears this is where we become creators of our future, where we improve the probabilities of what's going to happen in our lives and the outcome that you want in your life, that you paid $100,000 to go to college, some of you, right? To at least you want a fighting chance. And the fighting chance is, you got your degree. Look at my degree. So if anybody sees, that is my MBA, which I finished in 2001, right? On top of my mom's picture that's in the Museo de Ponce in Puerto Rico. So that's my MBA. Beautiful, beautiful degree that is there, and it is not moving anywhere, right? So I have beautiful dreams that I can hang my hat in many different places. By the way, so I have other boats. I have other little boats, which I'll share with you later because I lost it. But that's what happens with my boats. My boats, one of them said that I wanted to be a singer. Where's that boat? Well, I sang in American Idol one night in Orlando, and it was fun. But did I become a singer? No. I wanted to be the department head of a major bank. Did I have the intention and I have the drive? Oh, what? Here it is. Here's my other boat, right? So I have two boats. So, did I have it? Well, the answer is sometimes the wind blows a little harder. But, when you have your constant calibration of that little boat, it starts going back into this direction that you want. So let's be real, right? Everyone is doing great things here, but very few people actually take action. People get stuck between dreaming and doing. And obviously, I'm here to help you close that gap. If you ever had a goal and didn't move on it, I want you guys to hear me out. I probably made it very clear. And here is where massive action is required. It is the commitment and the drive to do whatever massive action you need to take right now to clarify your goal so that you can use that motor and go in the right direction, not in the direction where the wind blows. No? So here's where we talk about execution. By the way, I have a little booklet that I'm going to share with you guys. So the brand management booklet and also the power of execution booklet that I have, which the word execution is something that I'm fanatical about. It's execution, guys. Execution is not about perfection. So execution is about motion. And when you delay things, you're draining that power. When you move, even if it's a little step, things start changing. You're you're thinking of, okay, I want the job at Red Bull, but you have never met a person in Red Bull, never sat down in the office of Red Bull, never have a dialogue with anybody close to Red Bull, then guess what? David, we'll talk about that. No, we're going to talk about that. Is if this is your dream and this is what you want, you put in your vision, then we got to put the motor. Okay. So I'll share with you an example that happened to me. So I share with you that I ended up at the University of Miami, which I went undergrad and graduate school. Go Canes. Sorry, Mati, I'm a Cane. But I did something. So I realized that I wanted to be a Cane, and Nico and I shared that story a little earlier. Is I wanted to be a Cane because my mom didn't let me play Pee Wee League because my mom didn't have time to take me on weekends to play football. So every time that I had intramural events at school, I tried to play football, but I couldn't be in the team because my mother couldn't take me. So I came at 14 to to Miami to visit my uncle and saw the University of Miami, and I went to the football field. Actually, it was the Mark Light Stadium. It was the baseball stadium. And then I started going biking. I used to work in Winn-Dixie as a bag boy in the summer, and I used to go biking to the university. And I never dreamt of going anywhere but to Puerto Rico, to be honest, because I never felt that I could achieve it. Right? I always felt that being in a little island from a poor family, that was enough, and that my dream was just to do whatever everybody did. Right? But I felt it. I felt uh, I was feeling sitting down at the university. I felt going to the football games. I felt walking in the footsteps where I wanted to walk. And I went to the library. I sat down in the library as a 14-year-old. Then as a 15-year-old again, I used to go. And I it so embodied me that I said, I am going to do anything that it takes to get there. And I worked very hard, and I got it. I studied the requirements, make sure that I did the essays that I needed to do, take the courses that I need to take, ask for the scholarships that I needed to ask. By the way, I ended up paying very little, which was the issue that my mom had, that we couldn't afford it. And I said, "You don't worry about it. I will find a way." And that same vision that I had that gave me that drive is the same vision that I shared with my daughters. I took Valerie and Michelle. By the way, Valerie went to Wake Forest, tremendous university. But Valerie, I took her on a college tour, and what I wanted her is to have vision, to have the same feeling that I had when I was in college, and have a fighting chance to follow her dreams, right? And that fighting chance, you can only get it when you have determination and you know what you want. So Valerie went to 20 schools, and the one she fell in love with was Wake Forest. Same thing, it happened during the pandemic. Guess what? We couldn't afford it. I lost my job during that period. And we had a very hard time. But you know what? My wife took another job, and she gave some of her part. She took some loans. I took some loans, and she did it. Right? And now she's working at Bank of America in Manhattan, doing phenomenal. But that is a shared desire to have the vision, same desire that I want to share with you. By the way, same thing with Michelle. Michelle, my younger daughter, was a genius when it came to math. So she used to do, Minecraft and all this crazy stuff. And I am not a math person. But I told her, I did the same thing. I took her to the universities. She fell in love with the University of Michigan. She couldn't talk about anything but the University of Michigan, University of Michigan, University of Michigan, University of Michigan for years. And I'm like, well, uh, apply to 30 and figure it out, you know. At the end of the day, she made it, right? She was top 4%, ended up going to the University of Miami. I don't pay a cent. She was exactly what they were looking for. By the way, I do pay for her food. But what I'm saying is she made her dream happen. And that's going to happen with your specific dreams. So I want to share that so that you can, so that you know that vision requires action. It's not just, you know, the desire to do something. No, it doesn't work that way. No. By the way, I read a book that I'm going to share with you. Write it down. Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins, The 5-Second Rule. So Mel Robbins, at that time, I was in a moment that I knew what I had to do, but I was hesitating. I applied for jobs in 2017. I got let go by Wells Fargo. They closed my division, and I started applying. I applied to like at least 300 jobs, and I couldn't get a job. I was like 2-3 months. I couldn't get a job. So I said, you know what? I need to take massive action to turn things around. So that's when I read that book. And that book, The 5-Second Rule, it tells you to embody and dream of yourself as a rocket. And you know how a rocket, when the rocket launches, it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it, right? So sometimes our mind is the one that plays tricks on us, because we have the desire to do things, but we question ourselves and question ourselves. Can we do it? I don't know if I can do it. I don't have time to do it. And the answer is, for those sports guys and women here, just do it, right? Do it. Do it now. Do it massively. Do it forcefully. So that's why I love that book. It's just, it gives me a break in the pattern, right? A way to think. Every time that I like when I'm speaking in public. Yes, I have the same fear, and I've spoken in public for many years. But still, you get the jitters. You know what? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome. Here I am. Right? That's what you should be doing with anything that you have the passion and desire to do. By the way, one of my favorite motivational speakers is Tony Robbins. We did an event for Apprentice a couple of months back, and he talked about the rapid planning method, RPM, which is another concept that I will ask you guys to do a little research on, because RPM stands for results, purpose, and massive action plan. Results, purpose, and having a massive action plan. So again, he starts with the end in mind, and then he digs into the why. So I want this. Do I want it bad enough? So much so that I'm going to take massive action and do it because it is in my heart. It is part of me. It is what I need to do to accomplish X. And that methodology, he has a webinar. I can send you later on a little summary that I have. But it's just, Tony Robbins is spectacular. He's a great motivator, great motivating force. I would encourage all of you to listen to his things. He, sometimes I am skeptical about motivational speakers, because some of them, they're driven by the fact that they're getting money from people. Okay, and it's okay. People need to make a living, but sometimes the real message gets a little confusing when people are driven only by money, not by intention. No. One last thing before I finish is Um, remember I told you that when I lost my job in 2017, um, it was a tough year. So I lost my mom, I lost 2 jobs, and I lost my mother-in-law. All of them in that same period. And I felt devastated. And the first thing that got me through was my friends from Apprentice Worldwide, the mentors that were here, that I kept hanging out with, and sharing my life with. Those are the people that kick my butt and say, you know what, Hernan, wake up and do whatever you need to do to take care of your things and take care of your family. So at that moment, of course, I wanted to be a banker, but I was disappointed. And at that moment, I started in merchant services. Um, I started in merchant services. I did. I joined a blockchain as a service company. I joined a digital bank and the board of a digital bank as an advisor. I did audit work for finance. Um, uh, you name it. I gave presentations and things. I just did anything that I had the skill sets to do or learn. I joined Planet of Finance, which was an organization that allowed me to do events, and all these things. I did them in a short period of time, and I didn't know where my head was just in very many different places, right? But I stuck to the fundamentals. That's what happens sometimes. That when you're doing something, you do it again, you do it repeatedly. You don't focus so much on is it gonna happen? Because if you're taking the steps, eventually it will. And the skill set that I used at that moment was, so obviously I love reaching out to friends and relationships as part of my networking. So networking for me is not getting to know people, a lot of people. No, getting for me networking is finding good-hearted people and bringing them into my life and finding a space for them in my life. Sometimes we don't want to open up, right? We're skeptical because, we don't want these people in our lives. In my case, I look for gems that are gonna be part of my arsenal of goodness and of things that I can help people with. So I look at people's hearts and I grab that heart and I use it whenever necessary. Like having a tool chest, una cajita llena de cosas, de herramientas, ¿no? A tool chest. So that's what I do. That's why I don't discard people that are in different industries. On the contrary, maybe I don't do that, but I'm gonna need a doctor. I'm gonna need a dentist. I'm gonna need a marketing person. I'm gonna need a person that's a non-for-profit, right? So the doesn't matter as long as the person, if the person has a good heart for service and likes to help other people, those are the people that I'm gonna recommend. And guess what? So I went to Boston. I went to see a friend of mine, which I appreciated so much what he did for me years before. He taught me how to do trade credit insurance. And I told him, hey, listen, I would love to start selling your product, that credit insurance, in Miami. Let me know. I will be your rep in South Florida. And he said, oh man, that's so nice. Yeah, I remember, and I appreciate all that you did. Let me think about it. The next day he calls me. Listen, I don't know what's going on, but I really love your passion, and we work together so well. Why don't you come work with me? Saved my life, saved my family, was able to put my kids to college. All because I had the need to connect with somebody that I cared about, and at the same time trying to see if I could help him, and by helping him, helping myself. And that action is what led to the ultimate goal of finding a job. And that's another thing that I wanted to share with you is you know knowing the steps to get there is sometimes having faith that your steps are enough, right? I don't, like I tell So I speak to my employees. So Sandra, who's part of my team, she runs our Miami office. I always tell her, focus on the action, because without the action, you're not gonna get the outcome. And without the action and showing the action, the people at work are not going to give value to what you do. You see how important that is, right? At work, it's not only for your goal, it's for whoever you're working for. Is doing the steps that need to be taken so that you can accomplish the goal at the end. Whether you accomplish the goal or not, you don't know. It's not in your hands. I'm not going to force a client to buy my product. But guess what? If I don't take the steps, nobody's going to buy my products. Right? So that's why massive action is so important. I can go on and on and on forever. It's 6:32. I want to leave time for questions. And if anybody here wants to share some of their stories about what you think about what I said, I'd love to hear from you. So I will get my screen from big to small, and let's see what you guys think about all this stuff that I said. Hold on a second. All right. So massive action. Who wants to talk about this? By the way, is it fear that holds us back? Is it that we're afraid of taking the steps? Maybe. Is it that nobody in your family has ever done what you're doing and you just have no clue what to do because of that? Maybe.
Hernan, can I make a comment?
Yes.
I think sometimes we think of massive action as some great, big, amazing feat, right? But I think sometimes massive action can be that one thing that you need to do to change the rest of your day. For example, and doing that consistently, right? For example, I'm terrible at this, but one of the first things I do in the morning is I check my phone, and that totally derails my day, right? I mean, if I start out with my own priorities and work on my own agenda and my own things, I don't get derailed by other people's demands in my email inbox or just or just scrolling mindlessly on social media, right? And I think we're all guilty of that. I think we all know what our one thing is, and I'm not saying everybody has the same issues that I do, but if we could do one thing consistently, that in itself, I think, is massive action, right? So
we suffer sometimes from analysis paralysis. Have you guys heard about that? Analysis paralysis. It's just we analyze things and analyze things and analyze things with no action, and that creates fear. It's like having a little boat, letting it run, and then all of a sudden you get a whirlpool and it starts going like this, that whirlpool is getting you nowhere. It's going to the same places again and again and again and again and again, and all you need is a little push to get it out of the little whirlpool. Or maybe it's the fear of having I don't know, maybe the fear of having a dog hit us and hit our little boat, or maybe a little turtle that's in the puddle, or maybe we think a crocodile is gonna pop up. So listen, I tell you, I could be your dad for a lot of you, right? And the answer is I am afraid too, but I don't stop, right? I just take massive action. I don't think about it so much. I just go 3, 2, 1, let's do it. And that is something that you got to put inside yourself, right? You have to. It's not that you're not going to have fear. You're going to have fear. It's just you're going to overcome the fear by having massive action. Divine, what do you think? Didn't we have that conversation the other day? Are you here?
Yes, sir.
It's just, we're always going to be afraid. But who's the one that wants to accomplish our goals? Is it, your cousin that wants you to accomplish your goals? Is it your neighbor that wants to accomplish your goals? The answer is you built the boat. No, not your neighbor. So now it's time to get it in the right direction. How do we do it? By action. By the way, I know it took some time for you guys to meet your mentors. Some of you haven't even met your mentors yet because you go around in that little whirlpool of email versus texting, texting versus calling, calling versus email, email versus texting. The answer is do it all. Do it all, do it quickly, do it now. Right? Mati, didn't we have this conversation? Is he here? I think he left already because he knew I was going to bring this up. Did anybody have that issue? I emailed my mentor. He didn't answer me.
Yeah.
Do you know that all of the mentors are in our chat? That if you just ask, I could give you the phone number, but you never asked, right? You never asked for me to do a three-way call with you and your mentor. You just send an email and that's it. And you expect for somebody that is running a major corporation to stop. Hey, hold on, let me stop. Let me stop running my business because my intern wants me to answer his email. And whose goal is it? Theirs or mine? The answer is
right.
It's mine. By the way, Mati, I'm just bugging you, but these are lessons that we're learning.
No, I understand. I'm just easy topic.
We can listen. The good thing about these things is that here's where we practice. Right? This is practice. Because in the real world, what matters is action. It's action. You're not gonna, not you specifically, Mati. It's not gonna about everybody. Everybody who works is not going to make their bosses happy or even their clients happy if they don't do the things that are asked of them. Because you can have an excuse one time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. The longer that I take, the more people lack trust in you. And that's not what you want. You want to build trust. You don't want to diminish the trust. You want to build trust. This is what you want. The more they trust you, the more they love you, the more they give you stuff, right? So, yeah, this thing about, we got to work on it. By the way, I also give a course on proper communication, which I can share with you guys at some point. By the way, I did give you guys an agenda of how to talk to your mentors. It started with getting to know your mentor. I told you if you didn't know what to speak to the mentor about, speak about me and how we got to know each other, how they joined the program. And then it talks about, talk to me about the industry, talk to me about opportunities in the city where I want to work. These people are experts. All these things are viable questions. Every time that you meet a mentor, use that little cheat sheet and it gives you an excuse. And if you space it out, if you see that you're running out of time, it's a perfect excuse to speak to them again. Schedule an appointment and speak to them again. By the way, the more you speak to them again, the more trust you build, the better it is. As they start opening up and building relationships is what matters the most. So I was gonna, by the way, it's not easy, guys. Devon, I picked on you, but the reality is all these things are not easy. Okay, it's just when we're in college, we have a clear vision because a clear vision when it comes to graduating your degree, because they give you a list of classes that are basically your checklist. You finish these classes, you graduate with a degree. But when you graduate, is when your vision starts getting a little fuzzy because there's no, there's no checklist, there's no agenda. You're navigating in unknown waters, right? You're navigating in unknown waters. That's why we build this community, by the way, of Apprentice Worldwide. I don't know if you knew that, but it's because, when you start talking to people, then you start creating a checklist. So I know Mike is in banking and does certain things. Hernan is in banking and does other things. Maybe I follow a little bit of what Mike tells me, a little bit of what Hernan tells me, a little bit of what Matias tells me, a little bit. But you start, creating a pathway that will help you, advance your goals in your career. What else? By the way, 27% of the people that graduate college, and this is statistics, you can check it in ChatGPT, are the ones that end up doing what they study. How about that? So the majority of people, I'm talking about 70, what is it? 73% of people that graduate college do not do or do not start working in things that they study. And half of the ones that graduate college end up working in things that do not require a college degree. Right? So this is why the things that I'm speaking about today, clarifying your vision, having a plan, being specific, right? Using the SMART model, specific, measurable, right? Attainable, achievable. That's in the booklet, in the Power of Execution booklet, Divine, that you read. It's just that's why you need to do it, But why does this happen to people? So here are the top 5 reasons why it happens. Most students choose a major at 18 or 19, often based on guesswork, parental influence, or limited exposure. They only learn what they actually enjoy and are good at after entering the workforce. Don't feel bad. That's what happens. By the way, I did 5 internships before graduating. And I kind of got a feel for what I wanted. I ended up in banking as a corporate banker, commercial banker, right? That was my goal at that moment. I didn't know about this international trade finance stuff that came into my life later on. But I realized I didn't want to be in private banking, and I worked at Merrill Lynch. I realized that I didn't want to be in marketing because I worked at a nonprofit doing marketing work. I realized what I didn't want to do. And I heard when I was working at Capital Bank, I heard what people did in commercial banking, corporate banking, and that sounded cool. And I started applying to the management training programs, which I applied to, and then I screwed it up because I didn't go to the cities where the jobs were at. Which takes me to the second point: is new industries emerge, others shrink. A major look promising at the start of college might not be as relevant by graduation. And with AI, even harder, no? Lack of practical career preparation. Many universities focus on theory and academics, but not enough on the real world experience, like networking, career coaching, and internships. Yeah, they encourage it, but they don't force you. Or they encourage it, but they don't tell you how to get them. So why does this happen as well? Because employers increasingly prioritize transferable skills over degrees. What does that mean? That you can have a degree in marketing, phenomenal, but you're irresponsible, never show up on time, right? Guess what? You have a good degree. It looks nice, but you don't know, how to show up on time, to be responsible, right? And those are the things that people look for. Because a degree, I know at least 1 million marketing people that graduate, from universities each year. But what makes you different is you. Okay? Graduates often take first job that pays well, even if it's outside of their field due to student debt. I get it. I had, 40,000 that I owed, and another 30 that I still owe. But that doesn't take me outside of my dream. Having a peripheral vision, know that I need to continue building the skill sets to get to where I want to. The other one is geographical constraints. Job availability depends on the location. A marine biology major in a landlocked city may end up in a business or education simply due to logistics. By the way, it's okay. Like I told you, my brother Javier is a cinematographer. He lives in Miami. It took him 20 years. It could have taken him a lot less in California, but his circumstances didn't allow for that to happen. Don't beat yourself up. Just make the best out of what you have. But just understand that it's all about supply and demand. If you're studying something that there's nothing where you're at, then either you move or you change temporarily. And I say temporarily because I do love singing. Nothing's going to stop me from singing, even if there's no jobs that will take me. And the last thing is something that I wrote down is students sometimes misunderstand what certain careers involve or believe. A major, basically, it's like what I tell people is, whatever you want to do, hang out with the people that are doing it. So if you want to be in banking and operations, right, Carla? Guess where we got to be? By the way, the one that was the president of the South Florida Banking Institute is in the board of apprentice. By the way, Shalaco is the head of trade finance for the Florida International Bankers Association. Guess what? Give him a call, hang out, That's what we got to do. So, any other comments, questions, cheap shots before we leave? Yes, dale.
Hi, guys. Well, I wanted to say that, well, thank you in the first place for the wonderful lesson that you brought us today. And something very little that I wanted to bring about it is that sometimes perfection is enemy of concretion. So something that I've learned is that it shouldn't be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be done. Because otherwise nobody else will do it. Nobody else will bring your ideas to life. And sometimes it's because of what Hernan was mentioning before, and it's fear. And sometimes we let fear to paralyze us, but that's the point where we need to stand up for us and, just do it. Sometimes you don't need to think, you just have to act. So thank you for reminding us about that, Hernan.
Thank you, Lou. It's not easy sometimes, sometimes you get analysis paralysis just because you just have some bad days, Sometimes, somebody doesn't like you and just trying to destroy you, and that puts you down. Maybe you desire to play a sport, you guys that are the sports guys, and maybe somebody just didn't allow you to kick the ball. They put you on the bench. It's just, it pisses you off and it drains you, right? But here is where faith and having a good surrounding group of people that care about you comes into play. So I get inspired first by God, then by my family, and then by my friends. So the motor, the drive, the energy, the passion is um fades when you're the only one that believes in yourself. When you have others that believe in you, it kind of like doubles down, triples down. It gives you inspired because you know you're not alone. And by the way, you do know that everything that we do at Apprentice for Life is, if it's one thing that you will get, Lou knows, you know, is that we're here for you, is that we care. Why? Because the world is tough, you know? I wish I had my people to help me out, good mentors that, but I had a bunch of assholes that when I was in my 20s, all they wanted to do was, sleep around with their secretaries or, sorry, am I allowed to say that? Everybody here is in college years, at least. It just made no sense, right? Because you are trying to do your thing, yet the world is sometimes people are doing other things. That's where I plug in to the goodness, to the people that love me, that care for me, you know, and that know me, that can tell me in my face, man, you're screwing up. Wake up, you know, because to do massive action, you cannot be asleep. You need to wake up. You need to snap out of it, right? You need to let that fear go. You need to pray a little bit. Whatever it is that's gonna take you to that state mindset, right? To that mindset that you can go. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. I saw one hand raised. Anybody else that want to
Hi.
share something?
Yeah,
Sí,
Hernan,
dale.
it's Nicole Jara.
Dale, Nikki.
See, today I'm from my phone because I had to log in from my phone, but I do have a question.
Sure.
Thank you for your talk and for everything you told us about massive action and analysis paralysis. My question is stemming from, let's say you're early in your career, you're going through the interview process, and ageism is a real thing. What do you recommend for people early in their career that, for example, during an interview and they get told you don't have enough years of experience, or you're kind of put like, you're not old enough, right? Or they kind of put you to the side. How do you stand out, or what do you recommend? How can we change that narrative? Let's say you're in that interview, you have, that big shot of landing that interview, but you get told, you don't have enough years of experience. But you know that you believe in yourself and you're like, I know I can do this job, even though I don't have 10 years. Let's say you have 5 or 2, and I can knock this job out. What tips do you have? Hello? I don't know if I lost you. Might be my connection.
Sorry, my internet went down for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So I got your question. So the answer is, do you really have the skill sets? So this is what happens, okay? Because desires and skills are two different things. No? Sometimes you need to build the skills, and skills are not necessarily, you might need some time to develop those skills, right? So I am brutally honest. Let's just talk about you as an example. Okay. So we had the hat situation, right? to get clarity. Now that you have clarity, now the product is you. Phenomenal, with experience, uh, with drive, with motivation, now with focus, right? Sometimes it's not about ageism. It's just people require more experience. That's number one, okay? And that's fine. That can happen. When I wanted to be the CEO of a bank at 30, people looked at me and went, maybe wait a couple of years. Or when I had, when I was in private banking, and I think, Carla, did you work in Northwestern Mutual or one of those? So I think I spoke to one of you guys about, working in Northwestern Mutual, one of those.
No, I worked on Wells Fargo.
Oh, Wells Fargo. So let's say that you're a high net worth individual that I have, $1 million to invest. Am I gonna? It has nothing to do with you, right? It has nothing to do with you, Nicole, or it has nothing to do with the person that's doing the job. It's just what the other person is looking at. So the other person, and that's why you have to get into the mentality of the other person. It's important before you apply. It's, am I gonna give, if you're going after a 40-year-old person that has $1 million and you're in your 20s, can you do it? Technically, you may be able to, but I am always gonna default to people that are older and have more experience, because I am giving my life worth and my money to you. Same thing happens with startups. Nico, we talked about it yesterday. No, it's just um, people want they don't want to throw money at something that is an idea or a concept, or at people that they think might have the experience. No, I don't want people that might have the experience. I want people that have the experience. You see what I'm saying? So it has nothing to do with you. It's just your competition, right? That's why what I try to focus on is building relationships with the decision makers, or with people that know the decision makers, so that if they're going to make an exception, they're going to make it because of what I have as a soft skill. Maybe they love you so much. They know that you have the skill sets that are 90% there, or 80% there, but they want you because you have the drive, you have the personality. You see? So the answer is, sometimes it has nothing to do with you, Nicole. It's not you. Right? It's just
Yeah, yeah.
it's just and what do? You keep interviewing. That doesn't stop you from interviewing. That doesn't stop you to go to the next one, right?
Right.
Because you and I are almost the same. We don't stop. No. The answer is, in the in betweens, between now and the next one, you might get a little discouraged. Don't, because it happened to me. It happens to many of us. You just got to keep going, and have faith. Your time will come. So I am just you. Well, not as nice looking, but I am you in your future, right? By the way, so it's funny. So I wrote, I wrote that. Mike, you still there? No. Uh, so this is my old boat. No, my old boat says trade finance manager. So I wanted to be the global head of a major bank. That was my desire for years, because I thought myself that I have the skill sets, that I had the knowledge, and I had the contacts. I quickly realized that in the minds of other people, having a Latino handling the US market, particularly the Southeast US, it's not something that in people's minds it connects. And there are very many successful people that do it, that break that ceiling, but sometimes it can get tiring. So I still build my skill sets. I didn't become a trade finance global trade finance manager of a major bank, but I am the only one in the Western Hemisphere. I'm not talking about just in the US, in the Western Hemisphere, that sits at the global board of the top trade finance organization in the world. I am one of 10. So the other 9 are from Asia and Europe. Do I need to be the trade finance manager of a global CEO? The answer is not necessarily. So what does that validate? And this is also something that I'll share with you. Maybe after we deconstruct what we want, we realize that we can do it in many other ways. So let's say that my desire to be a trade finance manager of a global bank was money. Okay. I'm making money, right? Am I making the same type of money as those other guys? I check the job market and I'm making more. So it's not money. Is it recognition that I made it in my career? Maybe. Maybe that was what I wanted at that moment. But being in the top, in the board of the top industry organization in my field, isn't that validation enough? Is it managing people? By the way, I'm not managing people, but I am managing, volunteers that help. And it's harder to manage volunteers. But what I love about managing people, managing volunteers, by the way, I do manage people now, it's the fact that I get to leave a mark on the future generations. Do I really need to be the head of a trade finance of a major institution for that? You see what I'm saying? Sometimes the as you get further along in your career, you realize that the things that were so important to you, maybe you can still do them in different ways. By the way, that's something that you're going to give up on your dream. It just means that you keep trying, you keep trying, you keep trying, and maybe what you really want comes in another form. I have faith that you're going to get your perfect gig very soon, by the way. At any rate, anybody else? Last chance. All right, Divine, you had your hand up before. I remember. Anything you want to share?
Uh,
Besides sharing, you
yeah, I
have the
just want
coolest
to
mentor in
say
the
something.
world.
Yes, sir. So I just want to say that it's not easy sometimes, especially when we're surrounded with people who are not supportive or caring, or particularly somebody that's from my degree who studied pharmacology and found him or herself in a food science field that is slightly different from what you've done in school, and you're trying to make a headway. So yes, it can be really tough sometimes. And sometimes I get really discouraged that I sometimes feel like maybe I'm not on the right track and maybe I should just move away. But I think this topic you talked about today is something that's really worth it. So as you've said earlier, I said we should do it now. You said we should do it massively. You said we should do it forcefully. Okay, so I think I will go home with these words that you have said. Thank you, Mr. Hernan.
No, thank you.
That's
So do not be fooled, right? Massive action requires clarity of mind, and clarity of mind, right, is taking an idea from an idea to impact. So we thought about these classes when we put them together. It's just you need to figure out the details, right? You need to build the boat first with ideas and a clear plan. You have to have the boat first, and make sure that that boat is well constructed with fundamentals, with research. But once you do all the research, that's it. It's time to move. So, for example, in your case, you hit it in the nail. So I was bugging you. So I put you in the Africa team. By the way, one of the top robotics engineers that I know is Ibrahima, who is from Mali, now I think he lives in Brussels now. He's part of Apprentice, been with us for the past 6 years. And Comlan, who was from Lagos and works at a lab in California. Did you know that?
Yes, yes, yes.
So this is why we build our network here, right? Because if you don't know where to start with the people that are here. And the people that are here might not be experts, but they know people, and people know people, and people know people, right? So,
Definitely.
But if nobody knows who you are, nobody knows what you want, how can people help you? And then you're on your own. And then you get discouraged, right? I don't want you to get discouraged. I want you to know that there's people that care about you and that are trying to help you out. But at the same time, you have to do your part. You have to build the boat, build it, nicely, understand where it's going, right? Know the direction that it's going, not let the winds take it to the left. It has to go to the right? So now what you're building is the motor to take it to the right. And the motor requires you to have action, requires you to, calibrate the little motor in your boat. And then, but keep moving it in the direction, sometimes your boat might go like this, no? There's some people that have the boat that is a straight line because, like my brother-in-law has been a successful dentist for the past 20 years. Guess what his dad was? A dentist. So from 5 years old, he used to go to the clinic and sit down with his dad. So therefore, he knew exactly what he needed to do. By the way, my daughter, same thing. I used to take your daughter to work day, and she used to sit down with the people that are now her colleagues. That's crazy. She did it on her own. I didn't apply for the job. She applied for the job. They didn't know that she was my daughter until she started visiting them in Miami. But you have to have vision, a clear vision, the most clear vision that you can, not a shady, vision. I don't know. No. The most clear vision that you can, and then you go for it. But if you have a fuzzy vision, like Carla's background, yeah, then the boat keeps spinning. Guys, so this is the last time that we see each other. I wish you the very best, at least in the CEO master classes. Hopefully you got to meet your mentor or some of the mentors here. But we're not going anywhere. By the way, everybody that has been a speaker here and everybody that is your mentor as a mentor for the summer program, all the 20, 30 people that have been here are part of Apprentice Worldwide. They are the mentors and the colleagues that are part of this network. So guess what? You have an upper hand. You already get to know them. We're not going anywhere. We've been doing this for 11 years and people keep coming back. No? By the way, Nico's dad is part of the board. He's a chairman of Apprentice. He's been doing that since I started, right? Who's Alex's mentor and Nico's dad. Matt is a ex-colleague of mine, and he's been with us for a long, long time. We're going nowhere. We're nowhere. It's just that the program ends. Now it's really up to you whether you want to take the boat to the right or just let it go like the wind. Anywhere the wind blows. By the way, I love that song. Great song. Me voy. Talk to you later. And for those that are graduating, I'll see you next week. We'll wear a graduation hat. We'll celebrate. And if you're still lost after 6 weeks,
Bye.
We got to talk again.
Or take care, all of you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Afternoon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.